people, hey, let's go. Welcome back. We are already Thursday. It's crazy how fast it went this week. We're gonna keep going on the engine today. No big surprise here. Basically, the last few days was pretty much just about cleaning up the entire engine block, crankshaft, and a bunch of stuff in there. We're finally starting the pre-assembly procedure to measure stuff this morning. I swear, I've said it multiple times, but now that's actually true. The only thing not true about that is that I was thinking to start straight away this morning, but I forgot we got this, which are the bolts for the main cap. So they've been in some mineral spirits since two days ago, I think, so they should get out pretty clean. Everything changed color in there, so basically we're just going to wipe them this morning, lay them up on this blue sheet there, and then you can almost not see it. That's crazy. But yeah, after that we're gonna be starting on the engine block actually, so let's go. I don't have a lot to say this morning except the coffee's good, and we're gonna keep following the procedure from our book. If we take a look in there, actually, so we have skipped a few cleaning process because we're not there yet. Like they were already cleaning piston head and stuff like that. We will do that when we get to the piston, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, who knows. And yeah, so they were going nuts with that. So after that, we get in the pre-assembling process. The thing I would have loved to check, but for now we're gonna just take note in the cell phone, I guess, is for a sheet where you can have all the clearance and everything noted down on paper. So basically when we're gonna be measuring main cap 1, main cap 2, main cap 3, take notes of everything. I think this during lunch break today, I'm gonna take a look for that and try to find actually something good for just to follow like a list of stuff and take note of everything we're doing. So basically today we're going straight to step 5, which is the main bearing clearance. So we're gonna install our new bearing in there and measure the clearances of all the main cap. So yeah, that's gonna be the first big step. But first of all, let's just start by removing the bolts from the mineral spirit and then putting them to dry, because we need to torque them dry. I think I will see, maybe not actually, because I know some of the bolts in the ELS engine, you need to put a bit of engine oil to have the proper torque spec in there. So, which is kind of funky to be fair, but yeah, like some company says dry to have a proper measurement. Others says like no, you have to put some Loctite, blue Loctite and stuff like that. And LS engine are like, yeah, nah, just put some oil. It's gonna get loose. We don't care. It's not, by the way. All right, so there we go. That we should receive next week our stud conversion for the main cap. So ARP costs quite a bit, but hey, that's gonna be the shit. But yeah, so we should receive that next week. We'll see how it's going. If shipping is good, we shouldn't have too much difficulties with it. Usually Summit Racing is really up there for the shipping time, so I'm not too concerned about it. And that's gonna be a Derek replacement. So for now we're gonna reuse those because it says that we can, and then we're gonna be swapping that for the final assembly. It won't change anyway the gap or anything, so we're all good with that. So basically here I'm just really cleaning those bolts quickly to make sure there's no big dust or anything, and most of the grease has been already removed from the mineral spirit. So we're gonna have a few bolts in here. idea is to basically bring that into the engine, torque everything down a first time to see, like I said, if our clearances are good, and if they are, well, we're gonna be able to move forward. If they're not, we're screwed. Which is actually the case. Like, if the clearances are not good, I need to basically call the machine shop who did the crankshaft machinery and stuff, and like the shop who did that, if they fuck it up, well, that could be a bit pricey to fix. So I think at this point having a new crank will be the idea, but I don't want to get in that. Everything's gonna be fine. Let's be positive. We love being positive. I trust the people who did that job there, so let's go. So as you can see, there was a bit of dirt, so it's a really good thing we are cleaning those, because we don't want to have dirt into the threads and having like a bad reading of the torque. So we're gonna be super happy to have that properly clean. Just gonna do that because there was a bit of towel staying in there. So we should have, this is, by the way, what we call a 6-bolt main, which means every main cap has 6 bolts to them. Just to give you an idea, back in the 70s and 80s, the bolt for a 350, a V8 350 from Chevy, you could have it, the early one I think were in 2-bolt main, so only 2 bolts to hold the main cap, and the one that everyone wants in their performance car is of course the 4-bolt main, because those 2 added bolts were adding so much strength to the assembly that like people were like, yep, that's what I want. I don't want to build on the 2-bolt main. And in the meantime, in my Camaro, I have a freaking 400 instead of a 350. I will need to give it a little bit of love, so it's so not great. It's so bad right now. It's not like a great engine in the actual form. It's not bad though, like a lot of torque for what it is, but yeah, still need a bit of love of that in there. So if you're doing some quick maths, 6-bolt mains, 5 caps, we should have 30 bolts to clean quickly this morning. So that's what we're aiming for. Just having those prepared. Then we're gonna go on getting the bearing, the main bearing out, and we're gonna start laying them down in place. So during the time I was starting the stream and everything, I just take the air, the compressed air, to just blow a little bit in there and make sure that the bearing surface were clean. Everything looks schmickle, like everything looks perfectly clean. Really happy with the job we did yesterday. Like coming back this morning, I'm looking at this all dried, and everything looks way cleaner than it was looking already. So that means we did actually a difference. So the job we did yesterday did a difference in there, which is amazing. Really, really happy about that. I think I'm gonna have to change my towel there. I'm starting to really enjoy that roll. Not the greatest for some job, but right now for what we're doing, that's really good. Like there are some big towels, so like they are super large, and it's really helpful when we're working on those things. So far, really happy with that roll. Yep, removing quite a bit of schmutz in there. So basically, thinking of it, most of the internals in the engine will be brand new. The only thing that's gonna be used pretty much is the crank that was machined, so it's not like just putting the old crank. It has been verified, machined, and balanced. So still like kind of an upgrade. And what else? I will say the piston, because the piston, I'm upgrading them to a Gen 4 piston. However, they are still some used piston, which is okay, but yeah, used piston, but with a brand new ring that we're gonna be gapping. So that should be not too bad. If I was to restart, maybe I will go with like brand new piston head at least. But for now, I think for it's not worth the struggle basically. So we're gonna go straight with our piston from LY6, which I think the piston head is not the greatest but it's gonna help us have a really low compression ratio, which will allow us to run a little bit more boost. The only thing is a bit less compression ratio will require technically more boost to provide the same amount of power as a higher compression, but it's gonna be easier on what kind of fuel and stuff like that we can put in there. So at this point we'll see. I think that could be a thing that will like bottleneck us a little bit later when getting the cartoon. It's the fact that basically using pump fuel, we don't have great pump fuel here compared to Europe or stuff like that, so or Japan or something. So basically our fuel is a bit poor, and because of that we might end up having to say, hey, that's the limit, except if you're going with raised gas in there. So we might reach a limit due to the fuel itself and not the engine. So if it starts pinging because of the octane, like the octane amount and stuff like that, we're gonna have maybe to keep it under a certain amount of power, which we just don't know yet what it is. So that's gonna be to the tuner to tell us. All right, I think we're left with pretty much just the small, no, one big here. Then we're gonna be on to the small bolts, because it's majority of them are those big bolts, but like 24 are big bolts and 12 are really small bolts. 12 or 10, because it's 2 per cap, 1 on each side. So yeah, 20 of them are I don't know how to math. Mathematic not found. There we go. So I think the idea right here is going to be to, well, we're gonna follow the step in the book, but I think it's gonna be to install all the bearing in place, put the plastic gauge on top of each of the bearing surface, and then after that, start just putting the bolts in place and finally go for the torque procedure that's supposed to be in chapter 8. So chapter 8 being the final assembly, where they just didn't replicate that multiple times. So we're gonna have to just take a look in there and go for chapter 8 to find that procedure, and then we're gonna torque everything down, then remove everything, remove all the main cap again, and see how the plastic gauge reacted in there. So that's gonna give us like a good idea. It's not like the most precise way to do it, but it's gonna give us a good idea of how much clearance we have in between the bearing surface and the crankshaft that will allow the oil to go through there. Because basically you want a little bit of the hydraulic, the engine oil that will act as a pressure to keep the crank in place, but that's also going to lubricate the bearing surface, so that's how you're not burning your engine. All right. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8 here. I'm gonna have 2 more left in there, but the water, well, the mineral spirit is so dirty that I can't see shit. There we go. It's crazy the amount of crappy crap there was on there. There you go. That should be the last one. And we should have basically 30 bolts right here. Look at this with this, look at this with this, those get those sides, right? There you go. So we have all 20 of the long bolts and all 10 of the small bolts. So from there, I'm gonna clean my hand a little bit. And then I think it's gonna be time to unpackage those. Actually, I'm just going to remove those gloves, put them aside for when we're gonna be cleaning some more shit. But right now we're gonna go on brand new gloves and grab those bearing. So, following the procedure here, we're going to install the bearing inside the engine block, then inside the main cap here, and then once we are done with that, we're gonna be dropping the crank in here, and we're gonna make sure that we are actually also putting the plastic gauge. I'm gonna bring the main cap on the table just because we will need those. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not mixing them. So that's 1, 2, dual front. There you go. So 3, the truss bearing. 4, I'll make sure I'm keeping them in the same order and same orientation. And finally 5. There we go. Oh, is that some dirt? I'm gonna have to take a look at this. Just need to make sure it's not. That's dry. Just going to take a look. Yeah, I think we're good. I think it's just a weird spot. Just like this one has a small one too. But no big deal. All right. So we should be good with that. So now that we're all set, we're gonna also prepare eventually some plastic gauge, but for now let's start. That's the stressful part, opening bearings and stuff and making sure we're not scratching them, and cleaning was chill. That is stressful. So first set of bearings right here. So we're gonna open them up. I see they are identified as 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm guessing 1, 2 is going together, 3, 4 is going together. Not that they are usually paired, but that could be a thing. So I'm gonna remove everything. And in fact, I'm gonna also look into here, because you don't want to be, oh, I think there's exactly that. Wall thickness, wall lower, calculate the clearance. We can note in here what's up with those. All right, so let's see. Eccentrics is an optimized eccentricity value determined by elastohydrodynamic analysis. I have no clue what that words mean. All right, so there's gonna be better oil wedge formation, more stable hydrodynamic lubrication system, reduce vibration and wear, prevent oil film wiping under high RPM condition, optimize load distribution across the bearing surface. All of that, King, I trust you. If you're doing that, we're gonna be happy. Optimal press fit, prevent bearing spins and fretting, better heat transfer, reduce bearing and housing distortion. That's the radial lock. Perfect. Bullseye tolerance, perfect. No more purchasing multiple sets of fishing for bearings to reach the right clearance. No need to grind crank fat or thin. No need to adjust housing diameter. Less taper across the bearing surface. So if they just did what they had to do at the machine shop, it should be a perfect clearance right here. All right, do I have anything else in here? We have a bunch of little instructions, so let's read those. Intermediate layer, copper-based alloy strengthened by 4.5%. PMAX overlay strengthened by 5% copper. Industry highest hardness level. Fatigue resistance, or breakthrough hardening, blah, blah, blah. All right, there's no procedure, so basically they are going pretty much anywhere. I'm just going to go with the idea of that one here, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the front, then the other one at the back, and then we're gonna be moving to right, like the middle, the truss bearing. So let's do it. Hi. Let's take a bit of coffee before that. I should have also, yeah, it's right under there, a cutter. So step-by-step procedure, working on different things that are worth way too much, but it's worth it. So here we're gonna make sure we're not actually sending them to the ground by cutting the plastic before trying to open them with strength. Muscle is not the answer when building an engine, at least not for those. So, dual side. There you go. So we have our bearings here, as you can see, and I need to make sure I'm not dropping those, but these are our bearings. So basically I'm gonna take a first one, drop it in place in here, and what I want to do is to press it so that my notch on the other side is going straight to its place. So there's a little part on each side of the bearing that has like a guide, and you need to align that guide to its place. So right there it is in place. And so with that said, I'm gonna put like 2 of them in here and then 2 of them into here. So if I use the second one, I should be able to just go ahead and see, actually this is also for the inside of the engine, and that one's gonna be for here. Oh no, okay, I get it. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. I started with the 4th one. Okay, let me take it out. Basically, there's one for the inner side of the engine, which is that package, and one package for the main cap. So these are different, and I'm gonna just assume that it might be better if I'm going with the 1, 2, 3, 4 for the position. So since I've used the fourth, I'm gonna go at the back and use that on the fourth placement here. So there we go. There we go. So here, that's the fourth. Third is going to be that one. It's satisfying to feel the little click there. So basically it should be pretty flush. And then second, I'm gonna come to that one. I'm skipping the one in the middle because it's the truss bearing in there. Like so. There we go. So we're doing pretty great here, and that one's going straight at the front. Like that. So here we go. So we have our bearing installed there. Now technically that means I should be able to go with those and do 1, 2, 3, 4 through those here. So let's try that. I'm gonna put that aside because when we're gonna be removing everything anyway, we're gonna reuse the packaging at some point. Might as well put it, in fact, straight back in the box. There we go. So number one, yep, now that's lining up, which was not the case. Oops. There we go. That's not doing its proper thing. So these are not surfaces you want to clean or anything normally, because these are basically the bearing surface themselves, so you just want to make sure you're not putting anything on them actually. Just want to make sure you're keeping them clean AF. So that. That. And that. So there we go. Now we have all our bearings right in place. So those caps are all there. Now we're gonna go with what is called the truss bearing. So let me put that back in its box. Let's make sure I don't have a lot of dirt in here. There we go. So as you can see, I'm making sure I'm not touching the center surface there. This is basically the most important surface, of course. So we're gonna make sure that we are keeping that as clean as possible. All right, so these just come in here like this. Hello, Micah, what's up, good morning? My man. So are these having any guides? Let me check. They don't seem to have any. So we might be good to just go like this. How you doing? You beautiful. But we have holes for the oil, which means it needs to be at the bottom there. As you can see, all of these have holes in there, but these are flat. So the holes at the bottom for the oil passage, which does actually make quite a lot of sense. There we go. Whew!
Dumb ways to die.
Yay!
So many
Ocha
dumb
showed
ways to
showed
die.
up yesterday, literally. No way! Was that all good or not? That's so good. So, bearings in place. Time to drop the crank in place. The crankshaft itself, we're just going to lay it down slowly. Make sure we're not scratching the surface because we are assembling everything dry. And wait, actually I'm gonna take a look if they are. Many fastener to their final specification. Thought many are desired to be installed dry. Some fastener require lubrication to help achieve an accurate torque reading. In general, is the most commonly tried. Okay, all right. Beginning pre-assembly. Blah 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 blah. Main bearing clearance. With the main caps removed, installed your upper bearing shell in the block, because yeah, basically what you need to keep in mind, we have to do a lot of corrective training. Oh, yikes. Was there any fine or not? I hope not. Basically what you have to keep in mind is this is the top of the engine. Right now we're working on it like it was the bottom, but basically that bearing is the top bearing. So the oil is not like sprayed and trying to cover the upper part. It's the opposite way. Since we're flipping that around at the end, we are spraying the oil from the top and letting it go right into basically the bearing cap. So it's by the gravity is helping us lubricating those, which does make sense actually. So let me read that. So these upper halves have holes in them for oil to enter from the block. Note that the center main bearing is the truss bearing on the LS. Also put the lower halves of the main bearings in the main cap. Use no lubricants whatsoever or on any of these bearing shells. It will interfere with bearing clearance measurement. Once installed, whip them with a clean cloth to remove any possible contamination. Okay. Now, after giving the crank main journal a quick whip, gently lay the crank in place. Okay, so we're just taking a clean towel here, whipping them, and then we're installing the crank. No lube. Yeah, there's a little dirty, just a touch of dirt. Nothing I'm too worried about, to be fair, but better be safe than sorry. Just want to make sure I'm not laying any paper on there, because since they have a sharp edge on those things, that one had a bit of like a rusty powder, it seems like. Hell yeah, Micah. It's nice to have you around today. Hey, you would have loved that. Yesterday we had a guy from Germany in here. And he's a true racer doing some hill climb and stuff like that over there. That's so cool. Yep. And I think he enjoyed the content because he asked me about the project, so I explained him the Datsun and everything, what we were up to, and I wasn't finished that he subbed with his Prime. And then when we finished talking after a while, he also gifted sub to Tig, who helped us with the TIG welding last week. That's crazy. What a legend. He made my day yesterday. All right, there we go. Time to install the crank. Now that's the part where you need to make sure you're not dropping that. I felt so I'm part of OSHA being there. It was freezing rain all day and slipped on a loading dock. Yikes. I hope you didn't hurt yourself. All right. Let's lay that down gently, like that. There we go. Hey, beautiful crank right in place. Now, we're done. Engine done. No, if only. So now what we need to do is use the plastic gauge and lay a piece of plastic gauge absolutely everywhere in there, so that when we're gonna do the torque sequence, we're gonna have basically a good like a reference point to measure and see if our tolerances are good. Let me grab that green plastic gauge over here. And let me grab a brand new razor blade for that, so no contamination or anything. And also something sharp to cut it, because that's what they are telling us to do. That's not it. That's not it. That it is. Brand new, cannot be newer than that. Wait, what? I'm supposed to do that or that? Haha. Hey, come on, I just want one. There we go. Very new razor blade. Yeah, that thing there is not happy, but hey, let's go. So, with our brand new razor blade and a hair on the table from midnight somehow, we're gonna go and start cleaning that. And just make sure we're not having too much dirt on our hands. So here, plastic gauge, that you will see, it's a really funny thing. It's just like a little, not even a tube, but it's just a soft material that you can basically cut, put on a surface and crush it with that surface and the said surface, and so you will have a reference on how much it got crushed, and depending on that, it's gonna change how basically tight or not your bearing is. Not it's gonna change, but it's gonna tell you. So here, do I have them in inches? Yes, I do, because every measurement for an LS are in inches. So let me show you here. Super simple. Once it's gonna get crushed, we're gonna see to which of these it's getting the closest, which mean technically it's giving us a good idea of how good or bad it is. Now, let's see. First time I'm using this, so I'll see. I think I'm gonna remove the gloves for now because I feel like I'm not super accurate. When you say my corrective training, are you talking about like just because, let's say it's freezing rain outside, so you need to basically have a training on how to act when that happened and stuff like that? If so, that's kind of crazy. There we go. So this is the plastic gauge you see in there. Just as simple as that. So now I need to make sure I'm cutting a piece to the length of the bearing surface. So let me check how wide they are. Is my caliper not too far? Yes, it is. I'm gonna make sure I'm not touching because it's dirty. But basically, that's gonna be a bit less than that. So let's see this. Hey, good morning, Tig. Oh, the chat just went nuts again there, and somehow since for a while I cannot go up there. Thank you for the gifted sub. Good morning, Dento. I hope you're well. I've been lurking this project. Looks great, man. Good work. Thank you. Yeah, the gifted sub. Like a guy from Germany yesterday came in chat, crashed here, and had a blast. So he prime with his sub prime, and then gifted you like a cheeky little gifted sub, which is amazing. What a legend. They want to mitigate lawsuit, so they want us to take class on how to clean, but even the company safety said it is the company's fault for not preparing the job site, so they are being all nice. Yay! Thank you so much, Tig. There we go. So let's keep going. So we're gonna cut our little cheeky thingy here. Let's make sure we're not throwing everything away, and just making sure, because I need to make sure I'm not contacting with those. These are awful. I'm gonna try to clean them actually. I'm gonna try to give them a little cheeky bath just to remove much of the smudge in it. So yeah, so basically I need to order one more thing, and I keep forgetting about doing that for the fuel pump, but basically fuel pump are in there, everything works great. Seems to be leak free, because at the end when I was putting soapy water around the welds, there was no more bubbles, so we got everything fixed. And yeah, so basically that part is done. Now we're going into engine stuff. We're gonna try for end of next week or end of the other week to have a full engine, and then after that we're gonna be yeah, in good shape to put the engine and transmission in, fit the new transmission mount, and keep working our way through there. And also I should receive eventually big brakes and coilovers for it, because they are just waiting on the differential upgrade to arrive, so that will be amazing. All right, so let me try to do something with that. I've never used that product, so be aware we might be having difficulties. Oh, that's how it goes. All right, I want to bring dust with me. I don't trust that one because it went out, so I'm gonna throw it away and redo that again. There, that's better. So now with that, I know I can trust that one. All right, so now I just need to put that on top. So if you want to follow me. Hey, and Strike, let's go, good morning. Now you can tell him properly, Tig. So like I said, this is my first time using Plastigate, so we'll see how it's going. I trust that it's not like something crazy to use. We should be good, but hey, who knows? So we need 5 pieces of that. Without having it go in contact with anything else. There's gonna be a few of those bearings hard to reach, like that second one. I need to go right there. Not too, well, yeah, no. Well, that didn't went as planned. Where did it fall?
Hello there.
Did it fall to the ground? Not sure. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, oh, hello, Cam. Hello. That Cam was acting funny. So let me check. I've lost a piece of. the plastic gauge. Where did it fall? If it fell to the ground, it's gonna be almost oh yeah, it's on the ground. Perfect. So I'm just going to cut another one. Perfect. Phew, it didn't fall in the oil. Is the camera good? Yeah, the camera is good. Yay. Because yeah, basically that part didn't fall into the oil gallery, which would have been like pretty damn bad. Oh yeah, they are not super long, eh? So I'm gonna try to not scrap any more plastic gauge here. All right, so let me. It break, no. You need to stop it breaking too in my hand. No parts. All right, so the first tube of plastic gauge seems that it's gonna be used as a test. I really need to be more careful with those. I didn't know it was that easy to break. So I just need to go and put that on top there. There. Gotcha. Hey, got it. Perfect. We are not touching that anymore. Did you understand my message? You can't just respond later. Oh, I haven't understand. No, what was it? Okay, well, let me check. Right after that, I'm gonna scroll up the chat if you want. I don't think I've got that message, or I haven't understand. It was a question or something I had to answer a long answer. So that one's done. It's up to you. Make sure it's perpendicular to that, parallel to that. That's it. I don't know how perfect this is. Perfect to me. How's my okay, sounds great, sounds great. Did you wrote that to me a long time ago? Or is it like this morning? Because I don't remember having a DM on Discord, so I'm just like, hey, did I miss it? This morning I had a bot writing to me saying like, well, I didn't let the bot finish, but it was probably for, hey, you're a streamer, do you want some art? I just dropped it again. Yikes. Need to be more careful. Right. I will have to open up the second package because I fucked up too much. Yoicks. Oh, last week, damn, I've missed that, sorry. Sorry. Pro streamer, man. Listening to the community, everything, blah, blah, blah. You know the drill. Let me just... Oh yeah, I knew that happened. Piece of plastic gauge went straight down the bolt hole there. All right, guys, I'm gonna try to do something without fucking anything up. Just gonna blow a slight amount of air. There you go, I just saw it. Move up and fall on the other side of the engine. Perfect. And now, that one for the last one. It's a bit small. I will read again, but I think it might do the job. If I'm not breaking it all over again, and I'm gonna have to see if I didn't just drop it again in the hole. Freezing hand syndrome this morning. No, I think we're good. Just dropped to the floor. All right, have to open the second package. If I correct, Tig is from the US, but I'm not sure 100%, so I'm gonna wait for his answer.
Big Coke Crankshaft.
Oh, hell yeah. That's not for, that's not a 4-cylinder standard crank, eh? There you go. Shit, I keep dropping it to the floor. That one just spring. It did a spring effect. All right, guys, I'm not really talented with those so far. All right. But I hate that because basically it's super hard to reach. There you go. Okay, stay in there. Stay in there. Nope, nope. Just roll off. Nope. It keeps falling down the bearing surface. So the bearing surface is quite clean because the plastic gauge is not sticking to it. There. All right, I'm not touching to anything else. Whew. Whew, whew, whew. Alrighty. So, what's going on in here? All right. So now, on top of each bearing. So if we keep going. So I'm gonna check if I've done something wrong because there's an entire page about plastic gauge. Should not be pulled apart, but rather cut with a sharp. That's what we did. Okay, if the plastic gauge is out of, is crushed and it's not like identical from front to rear of it, it might be a journal taping problem and stuff like that. So we're gonna have to really analyze the result. But for now, we should be good to just go ahead and install the main cap and then follow the torque sequence. I mean, I understand that, and by the way, Tig, we still need to play some Tarkov eventually, but yeah, I mean, my main squad in Tarkov is all over the US pretty much, which is amazing. So let's go. That here is going in there. So we're gonna go and start putting in place those. I'm stressed, not gonna lie. So I might have to just tap it with a hammer slightly, because I need to make sure it's not moving front to back. There you go. But I will just start installing all those first, and then we're gonna talk about torquing them. There you go. Just want to make sure. Can I see it properly here? Yeah, I think I'm all right there. This is pointing forward and this is pointing, like all the points are going forward, I think. Yeah, it will make sense actually. because the holes here are going to line up. So yeah, perfect. Let's keep going. But I will go and make sure, to be fair, just to see if I'm not doing something stupid right now. But so far it seems to be a good fitment. Okay, so that. In fact, I should not hammer them to make sure the plastic gauge is not moving. I should just go and start doing the torquing procedure. So we're gonna install the bolts. However, do not use a hammer. Install the main cap and tighten them in sequence shown, and don't use a hammer to align. Oh, I think you can use a hammer to just align them when you're torquing them down, but for now we're okay just to go straight like this. All right, I want to see what's going on in chat because I've missed a few, I think. Let me check that. Big crank for big HP. Live in Stuttgart for almost 95 years. Nice one. How did you like it? That's for sure. I've never left the US, so it's difficult to learn about other countries. I am from Western US. Oh yeah, he's living in a ranch. All right, let me check what's up with the rest of it. So that I just want to make sure I haven't done something stupid there. So I'm gonna go back in the disassemble procedure, just making sure that our main cap are in the right direction, because it will be a bit of a pain in the ass to have them in the proper orientation. That's aftermarket one, which is not what I'm looking for. Well, it's hard to tell. Wait, there, I see that. Yep, we're good. That's at the front, I think. How do you feel when I'm saying I think? All right, let me check. That's like not long enough to not Google it. LQ4 main cap orientation. Because is there an arrow? There's no arrow, there's no nothing. Main cap, which way they go? Watch. It's supposed to be a 1-minute video. It's YouTube, so I think next car project we turn the BMW into the ultimate sleeper car. Oh, I don't think so, no. It's a 1-minute video. Oh, I put them all backward.
Here is the front of the engine. It is upside down. I'm disassembling it, so I'm taking this video as much for myself as I am for you. Over here on my left, we see number 1.
And that's what I had in mind.
Number 2, number 3.
You read the number from the back.
And on the opposite side,
Number 5 is good at the
it
back
will
there.
always be in that orientation.
All right, here we go. Actually, no, the number are on the good orientation there now. So, well, the one, so yeah. So those little tabs on the edge are going towards the back, except the last one that's pointing at the front. Why are you not going back in place? There you go. That's the reason why we're looking for those things. We just want to make sure that we are doing great. So here I have a little ear on each one, and the last one is pointing at the front. All the rest is pointing towards the back. So that's the idea here. Now let's start putting the bolts in place so that we are going to be able to torque everything down. So the bolts, I didn't like had specific places for them. So it's gonna be anywhere because basically it was already done. Just going to make sure they are actually dry. To make sure our torque spec is still good. And we're gonna take a look on the procedure to torque them down. So as I said, this is send the video from yesterday and strike. Send it back. It's so good. It's like a dream. So if I'm doing a trip to Germany, can I raise those? But yeah, basically right now we're gonna make sure we are all doing great on the pre-assembly procedure here. I don't think it's gonna be necessary to add the one on the side, but I'm gonna follow what the book is telling me actually. But yeah, I feel like we should be good. There. Mike as a traveler, I can tell you that. Right, so far it's worth cleaning them a second time on the towel. Nice. You can rent such a nice car for so cheap. We used to use 6 and get sport cars for trips. Nice. That sounds great. Yeah, if I'm going to Japan, my girlfriend's already aware that we're gonna rent a sport car, like a typical JDM car and not like a boring one. Just because I want to feel the experience, even though most of them, did you know, if you're renting like a Silvia or Skyline or whatever name it, they are actually detuned, so they run on wastegate pressure and not having a lot of power like they are supposed to. One of my friends did rent a S15 over there, and they were like basically half the power almost, just because the renting company don't want you to trash them too hard. There we go. We're getting there. Oh, that was the wrong one. I put that in the wrong hole. 40 minutes away from Northern Chip. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. I will love that. Yeah, I know it's Nürburgring. I know my classic. Micah, come on. I've done the tourist layout so many times on Assetto Corsa. It's like, what a dream. What a freaking dream to drive that. I know for sure driving there the first few times I will be doing a lap, I wouldn't even try to make a time, that's for sure. That is like really a tricky track to drive. Holy shit! The offer said, holy crap. You know, if I ever go to Germany, you're gonna be in trouble because I'm gonna drive it for sure. I'm just gonna message you. You're gonna have to ignore my DM. You're gonna be like, nope, 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 nope. I don't know that guy. Nope, 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 nope. You're gonna block me from everywhere. Like, nope, shouldn't have said that. I mean, I appreciate the offer though, because you've seen a video of me driving yesterday, so that means the offer is kind of serious, it means a lot. Like, hey, we know each other. Well, no, you came in here yesterday for the first time. We don't know each other actually, and you're like, yeah, you want to drive? Go ahead. That will be insane. If not all my money went on that car right there behind me, that could have been a thing. That will be the ultimate flex to say to people over here, hey, I drove on the Nürburgring with a 4AG swapped Yaris. That will be hard. No, yeah, the Yaris is not stuck, Micah. That's the thing. The thing is, that Yaris has guts. It's not our Yaris over here. Oh no. All right, let's go to chapter 8 and see the torque procedure. Oh, I had the picture here of what it was supposed to look like for the main cap. All right, so oh, I should actually be lining those up. I have like a doubt about it because I cannot push that far enough right now. I'm gonna wait for that. Oh yeah, they say don't do this on cap that use locating dowel. Tap the cap in place with a rubber mallet. Wait, what's going on? Insert the M10 main cap bolt and start them by hand. To guide the cap down, alternate tightening the bolts sides to ease each cap way in place. Don't do this on cap using dowel. All right, I don't have a cap using dowel pin there. No dowel pin anywhere for those. So I'm gonna be tightening those. So I'm gonna grab tools. It depends where, Micah, to be fair. You still have places that are like really loose on the rules, but there's place where it's like so bad. For real, 4UZ, damn, let's go with the T56 and I should be good to hit the trails. Nice. Going after shops in mass like they have been in the UK, both states and federal gov. I thought the cops were pretty chill in the US. Depends always. Diesel Brothers had a TV show on Discovery and millions of followers on YouTube and got shut down. Yo. California is the worst. It's one of the worst. Like every parts I'm ordering from the US is like California legal. Like they have to put a special mention for that. That's crazy. All right, so 916, is that you? I think it is, but not for those one. Not for these. All right, it's half. It's half for those, and it is probably 5/8 for the other one. Those freaking imperial measurement. 14 might do. 15. Look at that 15 mil getting in action. Oh hell yeah, tight fit there. Let's go. All right, gonna clean those tools too before going any further. And we are as relaxed as it gets, but the highway are now patrolled by federal highway police. Yeah, those laws are usually just getting overlooked until they decide, hey, they are there. Yep. Yeah, honestly, Micah, that's crazy because for us, that's like harsh and that's hard, like having all those rules and everything. But like basically, that's true. In Germany, they take the car away if they think something's wrong with it. They do the same in France. Well, they are not taking the car away, I think, but basically they are giving you like a warning where you have to go to a shop and it can take days for them to check the car and make sure like every damn thing is legal. And like there was at once that police officer who arrested like a young lady who bought a modified Civic in France, and like there was so many illegal things on her car, and she was like, no, the owner told me everything was legal, and he was like, oh yeah, because I can see it's not. And he was like, okay, let's go, we're gonna go together to the shop and we'll see there. And she was like, okay, and they went there and she got freaking destroyed, so the car was impounded for the time being, where she needed to make sure she had all the proper modification and stuff in place. All right, so when building an engine, by the way, guys, you're never ever using a power tool. Normally everything should be done by hand to ensure a proper feeling of everything, preventing any vibration over everything, and like you're just going and work your way around pretty much. Holy crap, that's intense. Like any speed or just speeding for like, cause here we have minor speeding, 20k over. Okay, yeah, that's rough. Cause here we have minor speeding ticket and major speeding ticket. The major ones start at plus 40 over the limit. Over on the back road, went for a year because I was American in Germany. No, yikes, that sucks. Gotta respect the law when you're somewhere else, Micah. Sucks to be you. Suck it up, buttercup. Exactly. Or when you're 100% sure there's no risk. All right, so I'm gonna start just putting the cap down in place. So basically what they recommend is go from one side to the other just to apply a consistent pressure everywhere. And I can see it go to the bottom there, and it's gonna crush our plastic gauge there, which is exactly what we want. So I'm gonna just snug it in place, do the same thing everywhere. Make sure I'm not dropping hair and paper stuff in here. And what I hate the most is when I'm not having a long, good enough range, so I'm gonna grab an extension for that. I love having quite a bit of range. It's just funnier to work with. Just a small extension to help us get there. There we go. So that seems to be sitting flush. Yes, it is. So we are sitting our main cap and also at the same time kind of sitting the crank in place. So that's super important to do, and that's something we are basically going to do multiple times in that engine. So like you see, I'm getting loose on one side and I'm going to the other just to tighten it down, so it's bringing the cap to the bottom evenly. There we go, and last one on the back. Then we're gonna tighten everything up. I mean, that's my first engine build, but I've done like engine stuff on my BMW, which helped quite a lot. So at least I have a bit of knowledge on that. So yeah. They can take you to the bank or ATM to pay on the spot also, I think. Depends the place. That's I know in Mexico it's a thing, and like that's because the police will keep the money for themselves, so you can pay them on spot for what was it? Yeah, a guy last night on the radio was saying that basically he went to Mexico in the last few weeks, and he had a ticket right when he was going to grab his friend at the airport with the rented car, and basically the police officer was like, oh, you have to go to the police station and everything, or you can pay part now and just go. And he was like, what? And he said, yeah, but I don't have money yet, like we need to go to the bank first and everything. And the police was like, oh, well, you're gonna have to go to the police station then. And then he was like, well, in fact, I have 500 pesos on me, so that's all I can give. And the police officer waited and just grabbed the 500 and said, okay, good day, sir. And basically was $30 US. Have a Dutch bank account in case we had to pay. Okay, that's why. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, the guy the guy in Mexico, what that was pretty much just the police asking for a cash payment there on the spot. All right, so all the main cap are seated in place right now, so that's a good beginning. Would have been nice if I was able to use degreaser on those, so it would have bring back the alloy color, but hey, no on bearing surface, so the amber color is gonna be the one. Let's go. Well, more bronze than so from here, these are installed. Let's go and put our side one just to align those. So now we should be able to go. That should be 10 mil, I think. Yep. I'm gonna install all the side bolts. I think we have a similar system here because basically, well, no, not true. I have to go to the website of the city from who the police department is. I just don't know for provincial police because I had a like parking ticket from the city, but not from provincial stuff. So I don't know how you pay them, but I wouldn't be surprised it's from the bank too with the ticket number. Because here most of the system are using like a company code that you're entering, and then you can like send a payment to them, and also a reference number, and that reference number usually is like because for like my taxes for my home and stuff like that, it's working this way. So I have like one for the city in which I'm living in, and I just enter every year the reference number of the bill, and they know like, and I'm making the payment, and they know how from who it's coming and to which bill it is paying actually. So that's pretty cool. There we go. By the way, good morning to anyone joining. I see the counter go up for quite a while. That's cool. Thank you for being here. Welcome to that slow engine assembly. We are taking that super chill, making sure everything's going well in place. And right now we are trying to measure the tolerance between our new bearings and to, good afternoon, yeah, it's still 11, eh? So we are measuring finally the tolerances of our new bearings compared to our grounded cams. So let's go. Now, tighten inner main bearing cap bolts. Perfect. So in the sequence shown, to 15 feet per pounds. Before proceeding further, you must use a rubber mallet to hit the crank rearward, then forward with a rubber mallet. Wait, what? Oh yeah, but they said not to do that just because we don't want to use that on our plastic gauge. Then use your torque angle gauge to twist these inner main bolt in the sequence an additional 80 degrees. Holy crap, that's a lot. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab my mid-range torque wrench. If I can find it, it's in that one, I think, actually. Yes, it is. To what are you going, sir? Oh, you're going only down to 20, so we're gonna use something else. Welcome to American cars, where we're using pretty much angle torque more than anything else. All right, so I'm gonna use my really small torque wrench. It's so small. So this is for a quarter, but since we're just doing the pre-torque on those, that's gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna go with half an inch here. I'm gonna clean up this, and then we're gonna take the angle torque. Yeah, metric system, please. Not in LS.
Metric system PLS.
PLS. Yes, sadly, not with an LS Chevy stuff. I know, right? It's not Newton meters. Here in Quebec, that's the fun thing. Oh, fuck the Imperial, man. But like, here in Quebec, that's the fun thing. We use both. If we're building a house, we use pretty much only Imperial system with inches and feet and stuff. And on other stuff like quality assembly, I was to say, but like precise stuff, machinery and stuff, we're using we're using millimeter and stuff like that. So it really depends, because since most of our client over here for the industries is are from the US, well, it makes sense that we are actually making sure we are following their thing. So what is let me convert the measurement. So I said 15 feet per pounds, and I need that in inch per pounds with that one. So 15 feet to inches. All right, so I said 15, convert. 15 is 180. Hey, I can reach that. Let's go. So my small one is that was that was hard on my ear. Oh hell yeah. All right, so that's minus, so that's 180 there. Boom. So we're gonna go, and from here I'm gonna bring the book, because basically what we have to do is follow that order here. So we have like numbers 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, because there's 10 of those. So we need to go, so front is here. I'll put that like this, so this way it's gotta be easier to follow. So that's gonna be logically, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is doing. So basically, keep in mind when you're doing an engine, you're trying to spread the load. So we have a truss bearing at the center here. We're gonna start 1, 2, I guess. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is it that? Exactly that. So this is the idea, you're always spreading the load. So we are starting at the middle and spraying towards the other side. Imagine being in army and you have to know both, then they make you learn a third called MRAD mills for shooting. Yeah, the mills, I've never understood it clearly. That's one I will need to take a look more. Click, torque, torque, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10. There you go. Also, keep in mind, sometimes you need to read that really well, because some, and mostly camshaft, I think, like BMW's camshaft, you need to wait a certain amount of time to release the stress you just added to the thing and make sure everything is in place. So sometimes you have to wait for up to an hour depending on the ambient temperature and stuff. Like here it's a bit cold today, so even if I have a heater, the parts are cold and stuff. If it was a BMW cam system, I will have to wait probably an hour to an hour 30 before being even able to keep following in the procedure. Being a Chevy, being an American, they don't fucking care about it, and we can just send it with the next step, angle torque. Oh, that's cool. There's actually also a magnet on it. Damn. Let's freaking go. Huh, there's snow falling from my roof. You hurt yourself today, Micah? Is that from the Johnny Cash song, or is it really because of the you fell on the ice? There we go. The Johnny. Okay, perfect. I hurt myself today to see if I still feel. I focus on the pain, the only thing That's real, so emo. That Johnny Cash is such an emo guy. Who would thought? Who would have thought? All right, so here we go. So basically now we're gonna do the same procedure. So if we keep, so now if it was the final assembly, we will use a rubber hammer to smash the front here, smash the back one time to align the truss bearing, and that's what they say the procedure is. But now we don't want to do that because we want to crush our plastic gauge without damaging it. And also, we're gonna go and then use your torque angle gauge to twist these inner main bolts in sequence an additional 80 degrees. See utilizing fastener stretch on page 118 for reason why this torque plus angle methodology is used by GM. Well, I just want to add the 80 degrees. It's still less than the BMW E36 heads. That was it's still the most frightening bolt I've used so far. Because basically, all right, so that's gonna do that when spinning this. Oh yeah, that, perfect. So here, if you don't understand what that is, this is the angle torque. So we have a 0 at the bottom like this. What we're gonna do is add that on top. So since we're starting at that one here, then we're gonna plug the magnet there. Magnet doesn't seem that efficient, so we might also even use the grip here. So there's two tools that are coming with that. So we're gonna move that. And that here is just going to clamp somewhere, like this bolt here. And basically now it will prevent it to move. So when I'm gonna torque that, it's gonna be just rotating the center. So I'm gonna adjust that to the 0 here. And now all I have to do is put a torque, well, not even a torque wrench, just a breaker bar on top here, and then move around and go to the 80 degrees mark here. So this is the idea. You want to add 80 degrees in the same order they were saying. Let's make sure again. Your torque angle, these bolts in sequence, an additional, yeah, so in the same sequence. So we're gonna go ahead, use a breaker bar and apply a lot of stress to those bolts. Because let's be honest, this is what we're doing, but if we want it to stay together, we need to put that thing there. So right now, we're gonna be torquing those to the point where they are right in their place. There we go. So I'm gonna be making sure that under tension I'm at 0, under a slight tension there, like this. And then I'm gonna go and rotate it to 80, to 8. I mean, now I need to, yeah, to 80. There. So that's 80. Now I can just go ahead, move that to that other one there. Then again, I'm gonna be putting that to 0. And actually, I might be also doing that, so it's gonna be easier for me to torque it. So 0. Then 80. There you go. You can always go a little bit past it, because when you're releasing the tension, it's getting back by a degree or two. I'm not talking about going up to 100, but you can go to 81 or 82 and release it. And basically that's helping just getting to the right spot. So here, again, I'm gonna go to another spot here. Might have to remove that. Oh, we lost a part. So we're gonna be doing another 80 degrees stuff. Let's move up to that one. There we go. And now 80. I just need to hold a little bit the stand because it want to move. There we go. That was a perfect 80 right there. There we go. Now let's put that back to 0. It's fun to do. I love those kind of jobs, to be fair. Torquing sequence and stuff like that, I feel like it's so cool to do. 3, 4. As we know, we're going back to here for 5 and 6. There we go. $80. Yep. That one, I bought that one with this. I was normally taking the one from a neighbor, and this one is really going way better. Honestly, I really enjoyed that one so far. That torque angle is working great. $15 I think on Amazon, really worth it. So there, 5, 6, 7. There we go. It's like so simple but so efficient. There we go. And the 2 last one. Whoops, that's the cam. That one's going to be this way. $80. And last one, but not the least. Let's go. There we go. 80 degrees. So, ow. That's done. Good torquing session there. Do you even torque? So there we go. So right now we have done the first section there. So we're gonna go to the 7th one. Now torque all M10 outer main bolts number 11 to 20. 12, yep, perfect. In sequence to 15 feet-pounds. Once this is done, use your torque angle to add an additional 51 degrees, not 50, 51 of twist to each outer main bolt. Again in sequence. With all M10 main bearing bolt now tight, the main cap side bolts can be addressed. Torque each of them to 18 feet-pounds, which is almost the same thing. Yeah, there is no required sequence for these bolts, save to say that you should tighten one side bolt and then the other before moving to the next cap. Makes sense. All right, so let's go ahead. Front of the engine again towards that. So we're gonna go pretty much, it's the same order. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, that's pretty much the same order. Just gonna change my mount here for a 15 mil, like so. Then we're gonna go to that. It was I'm just going to make sure they are actually sitting in place like so, so I won't be spending too much time on those. So right now I'm not torquing, I'm just making sure they are snuggled in place. And then we're gonna be using a 15 mil on our torque wrench. It is the same, so 15 pounds the first one, 15 pounds second one, I think. Wait. Yeah, 15 feet per pound, the second one too. So let's move ahead and grab that. I'm gonna keep the tool there. Oh, it's fun to be wrenching, finally. Do I have a 15 mil small? Like real small stuff? I'm not sure actually. Oh, well, yeah, because now I need a really small one. Because my torque wrench, my mid torque wrench is not doing enough. Sure, that's gonna be something interesting. All right, I'm gonna go with maybe my mid wrench torque, even though it's a bit flush. I don't like that. Might have to buy 15 mil in a quarter. But for now, it should be good. Because last time I've done that, it didn't end well. But that's not the idea here. All right, let me try that. We'll see if it's working or not. So, sequence. Yes, it is working, okay. I just need to be aware of what I'm doing there. $15 is 15 feet per pound is so like nothing. Because basically that one, the measurement stop at 20, so I have to go a bit under the actual measurement for the torque wrench, but I'm doing -5, so there we go. So I've done all of them. Just want to make sure I haven't skipped. But I'm pretty sure I've done all of them. I was just in my mind thinking. Just grabbing them in random order, but basically doing all of them. Yep, they are all done. Perfect. And now, from there, we're gonna grab a big ass 15 and do 51 degrees of torque. So let's clean that one here. That one socket right there. And let's go. So at the end of the morning, we should have our plastic gauge measurement, I think, because basically once we're done doing all that sequence, we are disassembling everything again, and we're gonna take a look at if the plastic gauge looks great or not. So we should be between 0.002 and 0.01, I think. Is that the measurement? I'm not sure. I need to relook. There's the thing in here, so we're gonna take a look there. All right, so let's go with the torque, the angle torque thingy. So here I should be able to do that actually. There you go. And from there, I'm gonna grab that. Some actual wrenching. So there, and 51 is going to be way less than the other one. No, I didn't put a bit of tension first, so I need to readjust it. There we go. 51. $51, 2, 51, 51. Hopla. $51. Then we're moving back to the other edge there. What's a good sign right now is that everything feels the same. Like I don't have a bolt where I'm like, oh shit, that one was really less hard to tighten. That will be a sign of something going wrong. Right now everything feels great, feels the same. And at the end there, you have to force quite a bit. If you didn't notice my face. There. And one last bolt. There you go. So that will be our main cap being torqued down to the spec. Hello! Hello, aloha, good morning. Hope you're doing great. That never gets old, just like the reserve sound. That's so good. Jamming on that is so cool. So there we go. We have basically arranged everything here. So now we're gonna be just torquing the side one, then we are removing everything. Hey. So let's do that. 10 mil. I'm gonna grab the small 10 mil. I'm gonna grab my torque wrench over there. So for those joining like Hawk this morning, basically what we're doing right now is assembling the crankshaft, but we're gonna be removing everything again. The idea here is that we added a bit of what they call plastic gauge, which is this here little thing in there. So that green stick, I don't know if you can see that green stick there, we added that in between the caps and the crankshaft, and basically that's gonna help us, depending on how it was crushed, to determine if our clearance is good or not. So that's the idea right there. So if I'm going back on the calculator here, what is 18 pounds in? It's 216. That's a bit high for that one. So I think I'm gonna go with that one actually. So this one here, we're gonna make sure we're not damaging it. We're gonna release the tension. Always release the tension on your torque tools, by the way, guys. Super duper important. And here we're gonna go with 20 minus 2. That one I need to clean it bad. And we're gonna go on the sides and do our 18 pounds on those. I'm gonna go and do basically the same order, even though they said there's no importance in that. So there. We are actually doing real engine work right now, Hawk. Amazing, not just cleaning stuff. There you go. So everything's in place. Now let's look again in the book. We're gonna come back to our pre-assembly procedure. And this is where it's gonna get interesting. The main bearing, we should be having like, all right, I just wanna make sure. Okay, yeah, because after we're going on that, so we're not doing piston or anything just yet. So basically here, the main clearance we should have somewhere around this. For moderate high performance racing, we're gonna be looking at 0.002 of clearance instead of 0.0008 of clearance. Well, there's like a gauge in there, and yeah, since I added like an extra clearance with those bearing, I should be looking at the moderate high performance, but basically anywhere between 0.0008 and 0.00275, we should be in the ballpark of having a good clearance out there. So this is amazing, this is good. We're gonna keep going, take a look and see where we end up with that. So now, install the main cap. Remove main cap and measure plastic gauge. Loosen and remove all main cap bolts followed by the main cap themselves. Note that the tight fit the cap and oil pan rails can make removal tricky. As during disassembly, we suggest using long. Yeah, that's what we did and it worked. When you are done, clean all remnant of plastic gauge from the crank journal and remove the crankshaft from engine block. Perfect. But what? Okay, remove all. Okay, wait, what? Remove all upper main bearing shells, which are the one on the block, except the number 1 and 5 front and rear shells. Clean these remaining shells, lubricate them with oil, then set the crank in place. Oh, that's cool. All right, so let's keep doing the procedure there. So right now, what we're gonna do is just untorque everything, which is pretty cool, because that's the part where we can speed run a little bit more. So basically, everything was set up, everything was torque in place. Now we just go ahead and remove everything all over again. So for that, I'm gonna use this, I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna untorque the side one. And yeah, by the way, I already said it this morning, but when you're doing engine work, ideally you never use power tools. Like, no matter how much you would like to save a bit of time, it's really not recommended. You really want to do that mostly by yourself and just go ahead and make sure you are actually having a good feel of what you're doing, because if you don't, well, you might end up causing damage. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove those small ones first. So I'm gonna leave those there. So yeah, it's all about following the step-by-step in the book for now. Basically, we're gonna go and make all, I think today it's doable to have all the crankshaft stuff done. It is 11:41 right now. Yep, so basically I think we're gonna end with the plastic gauge verification and cleaning those. Then after lunch we're gonna remove the crank, remove the bearing shells that we're talking about, like all the metal one. Then we're gonna set the crankshaft again and do the the verification, the rest of the verification on it based on what the book is saying, and then after that we're gonna move forward and see up to where we can go. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna stream tomorrow. I really enjoyed that work right now. Doing that is really fun, so I might be doing an extra stream tomorrow morning to move forward on this. I really want to get further on that project and have the engine assemble soon, so that will be amazing. So yep, I think extra stream again tomorrow, which is cool because usually I was not streaming really much on Fridays. Let's turn that the other way. Not that I don't want it to be tight, but I don't want it to be tight. Oh, it got tension because of I removed already the other side. So the 6-bolt main, like I said, we're gonna be replacing all those bolts. So right now, even if I'm torquing them and everything, and even if you're allowed to do that, we're going to put some brand new stuff, which won't change the tolerances between anything, but like it's just going to help us get a really good like proper bolts for high performance, which will prevent any damage happening there or distortion. There we go. Now that is done, I will try it with those, I think, actually. So this here is not the one. I'm gonna start with the 15 that had a bit less torque. Let's see if I can get that removed. Oh, that's wrong side. All right, I'm gonna need the breaker bar. So let's start with the breaker bar and then move to those. Just going to start releasing. I'm always doing that a bit like they are asking to torque them, just so you are releasing again the pressure without having a risk of it kinking, and because camshaft a bit more, but even crank, you can basically broke them. Like you can break them if you're not removing the tension properly, which is kind of crazy when you think of it. So I'm removing one good turn on them, and so I should be able to, yep, go ahead and do that. But just to keep safe, we're gonna go and release already also the half-inch bolts there. You know, just in case. You don't want to snap anything, so I'm gonna remove one turn on those two. I might break the camera there because I'm almost on the cable. No. What's up, lady? Oh, let's go. What's up, bud? No. How you doing, beautiful? Hell yeah. Engine action, finally. We're there. So we just put the crankshaft in place, and now we're gonna be removing it to see if our tolerances are good. So there we go. Yep, we should be good doing that. Look at this, isn't that beautiful? Coming straight out of there. I'm gonna be putting that aside. Doesn't really matter the order for those, because like they are bolts basically. They are not matched to a set, which is not always the case. Sometimes you have to keep some bolts to a specific place, ideally. So right now we just torque everything down, and we are now moving to removing all the caps and measure the tolerance on each bearing to make sure that we have no major issue down there. That will suck if we do. And yeah, basically we're gonna have a proper measurement of everything in here. Doing good, thanks. How many pounds does the motor weigh? Excellent question. I think fully assembled with accessories, it's around like 400 pounds, something like that, I think. Yeah, quite heavy. The bare block like this is probably 100 something, because it's cast iron, it's not aluminum. So yeah, that's pretty much the reason. But like, in comparison, the original engine on the Datsun, not the one we removed from it, but the 6-cylinder, usually coming with those, are about like 75 pounds less than that. So we're not adding that much weight. And since the engine's gonna be sitting behind the wheels for most of it, that's gonna be like also not as dramatic as people think it is. Because people are always like, oh my God, but like, what about the weight? And I'm like, yeah, but what about the power, baby? Because basically you don't want to unbalance the car too much, but like putting the battery at the back, we're moving a solid 25 to 30 pounds at the back and stuff like that. We're helping it quite a lot, so yeah. All right, am I able to? Oh, hell no. All right, we're gonna do the tricks, the old cheeky little tricks. So we're gonna use that one and that one, I guess, and maybe that one. Let's try those first. So I'm gonna use these. I'm gonna just clean them up to make sure we're not putting dirt. We spent too much time on that cleanup to not take more power. Yeah, I think there's gonna be too much power. Oh, Val, you're not aware of that, but I ordered the computer for the car. So the computer I was looking for, it released at the beginning of the week. So I went ahead and ordered it straight there. It was a pre-command. It's gonna be here in March. There we go. So that's one. And we have our plastic gauge crushed there. So we can see it there. You see the line, and we have it there on the crank too. So we're gonna be comparing those. So let me just take the book away. And then we're gonna be comparing what's up with that. So yeah, just to give you an idea, my computer for the car is gonna have Wi-Fi on it. I just think saying that is crazy. There we go. All right, good news. These two look similar. So that seems like a good thing so far. Oh my goodness. No, that's not good. But it fell on the proper side, like it haven't touched on the bad side. Oh, my heart, my poor heart. So it fell on that side here, which is kind of okay. We're gonna have to take care of that though and make sure nothing moved there. I don't want that to happen too much, so oh my God. Oh, my life. Computer that will tell you hello. No, it's not that great. Oh my God. Oh, that could have been bad. Because basically if it had fell straight on the corner of the bearing or something, Yeah, PTSD for sure, Micah. If it had fall on the corner of the bearing, it was done. Like it was done, but it hit the floor properly somehow. No, that's not happening again, okay? Let's take our time, move slower. Bro. I was applying a bit too much pressure and not moving slow enough. There. And the last one. Yep, that was me. Put cushion on the floor. Under, yeah, true. I mean, I don't really have that though. All right, they are all out. Perfect. Oh my God, that was the worst thing ever. Like I did something bad like this when I actually dismantled the engine. I dropped a piston to the floor, but since I replaced them, I'm like, yeah, I don't care. But now that, that's brand new parts. You don't want that to happen. All right, so now, let's see. Is our tolerances good? So we would like to be between the 0.0015 there and the 0.1002. 0.002, I mean. Is that right? Because 0.0015 is straight in the spec, and we need to make sure we're not going lower than Oh, we could be super crushed. Honestly, I feel like we have quite a lot of clearance right now. We're pretty much spot on between in the 0.002 part. For prevention, yeah. Yep, so basically on that first one, if you want to take a look at it with me, boop. Let's move you right there. Can you see it properly? Not sure you can. All right, let's move you right there. It's hard for you to tell, right? Okay, so basically, trying to find if I'm closing the light. Oh, that's better. So you see the line there. Basically what I'm doing here is put that next to it. So you see the white first line is too small. That one is pretty much spot on. That one is a bit too big. So we are somewhere between 0.0015 and 0.002. Maximum amount we can go is 0.00275, which is quite a lot of clearance. So that means we are more around the low 0.002 section, so kind of in between the stock to moderate, well, in between the moderate high performance and high performance category, which is pretty much exactly where we want to sit. So the bearing I choose are adding a bit of clearance, so probably that if it was like stock bearing, we will be closer to that 0.0015. So the second white line here, the taker one, we will be closer to that. But since it's performance bearing, adding a bit more oil in between the bearing surface and the crank, we are closer to that middle one, which is perfect to be fair. So I'm gonna keep going and looking at those on the actual bearing surface. That's spot on 0.002 here too. Same here. Same here, even a little bit wider, which means closer to the low 0.002. And same here. Okay, good news. All of our bearing surface here, I'm gonna do that. All the bearing, the crushed plastic gauge is all the same. So our clearance is really, really close to each other on all the things, which means machine shop did a good job. Yay! And then to throw the main cap on the ground, yay, with the truss bearing. But like, let me check again, make sure there's no damage there. No, we're good. Holy crap, that was the most frightening thing ever. Kind of want to remove that bearing fill just to make sure. Just want to make sure that I don't see anything that's inner side, so no. Yeah, we're all good. We're all good. Actually, there's one little mark here that I'm a bit worried about, but that shouldn't be an issue. Because when it's getting there, yeah. Whew. Yeah, Micah, we missed you last night. All right, the most frightening experience of my life. Is there a proper site to mount those? All right, let's put that back in here. Oh my God, never again, please. So, now that we're done with that, plastic gauge done, we're gonna be just removing the plastic gauge from the surface. So I'm gonna take a towel here and we're just going to basically remove that from there, from all the surfaces. So I will see how is it going away. I think mineral spirit is gonna be useful there. I just don't know if I can actually use a lot of it or not. I'm gonna read. Let's read. You said this item, all right, perfect. Too much clearance means you will lose oil pressure, and too little and oil can't flow in and you destroy the bearing. Makes sense. They don't tell us how we can remove it, so I'm not sure if you're supposed, because I know here I can use that without a doubt. Like so. Like so. Oh, I got such a cheeky D2 camp last night, Micah. Holy crap, it was a good one. Then I whiffed on the second guy on the next raid, but that's not the point. But I have now my new favorite spot down there. All right, let's keep going. Oh my God, I feel so bad for what had just happened there. Holy crap. Everything's gonna be fine. That I changed my paper towel. That's gonna be the hardest part when you're gonna come back to work full time, like no shitty weather, Micah. Like you've been away for a while, so you forgot how cool we were, and and now that you had time to enjoy actually playing with us, you're like, fuck, I don't want to go back to work. Like wasn't an issue when you were away for a while and you forgot about us, but now, oh, I know you didn't forget about us. I'm kidding. Wow, they might be listening. Yeah, sure, everybody's watching in here, yeah. All right, so that is done. Now let's move to, I need to check again on that main cap. I feel so bad. But it hit the ground on that side, didn't damage the sitting surface there. Everything's looking chill. The only thing I can see, but I think that was when we torque it down, is here. There's just a tiny point of, like that, even if it's not focusing, there you go. That tiny bright spot there is the only thing getting me worried, but I think it's pretty much when it's sitting down there. So like that, sitting here, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be a real issue there, because that's not actually where the bearing surface is hitting the crank, so we should be good. I love work, I swear. Yep, otherwise the sitting surfaces are all good, because basically it bounced on the ground like this, point, and finish its race like this. So that point here might be when it fell there, because yeah, I did the flip bottle challenge where it stand up like this instead of that, but that's quite good. So I think we're gonna be all right. Whew, never again, please. Oh yeah, I was supposed to put a bit of protection on my hand. All right, so I'm gonna use mineral oil because it is actually removing really well those things, the plastic gauge there, so I'm gonna use it. We're gonna have to make sure we're not leaving anything on those bearing surface. Yeah, tonight we're planning on playing. To be fair, I'm gonna say it right there. Hawk, Mike, are you there right now? So I might say it there. I would love to do some street if you're willing to. Let's see what quest we want to work on. But basically on street I need to kill 70 scav, thorax or stomach. So that's quite a lot to do. I have 4 days left for that weekly, but it's so much worth it for the XP and everything that I want to try it. All right, so far so good. Just going to make sure we don't have any plastic gauge particles on the side. There we go. Nice. I also have stuff like broadcast part 2. I'm gonna put some gloves because I feel like that product is burning my skin right now, which is not the best. If I want to feel what I'm doing in Tarkov tonight, I need to be able to click that mouse. So far so good. Oh, I'm gonna make sure I just saw a little bit of plastic gauge on the side. So I think being super cautious of all of what you leave in there is one of the main characteristic of an engine builder, being super cautious about everything you're doing. I have freaking 70 scaff to kill there, which is not that much for a street, to be fair, but like it can take quite several raids to do, let's be honest. But 70 in 4 days, if I'm working on that, I'm gonna get it for sure. There we go. Let's flip that over, touch of that. I'm basically just going and wiping that. Mineral Spirits is really doing its thing here, removing the crappy plastic gauge, the one that's crushed already, and then we're gonna do that. Wipe it properly. Let it dry. The thing we need to take care is this sides here. That can, I don't show it on the cam, but here you can see little small particles of actual plastic gauge and stuff, so I need to make sure these edges are clean, but otherwise we're doing great. Making sure not to drop that one to the ground, because we know it can happen now if you're not taking enough care of everything. Last one. Then it's gonna be lunchtime. There. Need to make sure not to scratch the surface actually, because this surface is specially treated to allow small particles to of metal to scratch into it, so it protects the bearing surface of the crank instead of damaging it, because you prefer to replace those bearings than the crank itself. There we go. There we go. So we're gonna leave them for so they dry. Basically that's it for this morning, and I'm gonna go eat lunch, because basically this afternoon what we're gonna be doing is remove the crank, remove 3 of the bearings here, leave the one at the front, one at the back, lubricate that, and we're gonna be pretty much testing the rotation of the crank. So there's a bunch of things to do. We're gonna be using new tools that I bought in the last few weeks, so that's gonna be amazing. Front cam. Front cam. There you go. So, first procedure done. The clearance of all that is perfectly spot on, so that's awesome, that's amazing. Plastic gauge, I might need some more. I will check if there's a shop close to me who has some. We'll see, but probably more tomorrow afternoon that I'm going for buying that stuff, not today for sure. So after lunch, in 2 hours pretty much, I'm gonna be back working on that, and we're gonna be going through the rest of the procedure for the crank. That's what I'm aiming for, having the crank done today, so that tomorrow, if I'm streaming tomorrow morning like I'm planning, I will be able to work on something else, so go even further with all that. So on this guy, I will see you in 2 hours. Stay safe and have fun. Bye bye.